This is the Auxito A301 Portable Inflator. Let's talk about it. The A301 is the newest portable inflator from Auxito, so I wanted to go over some of its features and talk about my experience using it. So I've had it for a little over a week, and I thought this should be some good information for anyone that's interested in a portable inflator to keep in their vehicle in case they need it. Like a lot of other portable inflators, once you get this hooked up to whatever you're inflating, like a tire, it will tell you what the current PSI is on the screen, and then you can set what PSI you want to get it to. So you'll be able to see where it's currently at and where you want to get it, and you'll be able to see the current PSI changing as it goes up as well. It has a flashlight on top that also has an SOS mode if you are in trouble and you need some help. It can be used as a power bank for charging devices. You can use this USB-A for power out. It charges via the power in USB-C, and the battery indicator is kind of nice on here too. It has a bit of a range, so you may not always know exactly how much battery is in it, but the indicator on the screen does change colors depending on what range of battery you're in. I got the little booklet out because I want to make sure I have these percentage ranges correct. So if the battery indicator is green, you have 70 to 100% battery. If it's yellow, it's 30 to 70%. If it's red, it's 5 to 30%. And if it's flashing red, you have less than 5% battery left. This inflator has 5 different modes to use. There is a custom mode that you can use for maybe pool inflatables or stuff around the house that you need to put some air in. There's a mode for basketballs, soccer balls, other items like that. There's bicycle mode, motorcycle mode, and car mode. It does say that it's rated for compact cars, so you may be looking at something like a sedan or a crossover, but I did test it on my Silverado, and we're going to do some more testing in this video because it may be good for truck tires, but it may not be the best if you want to use it on larger tires because it is only rated for up to compact vehicles. Now that we've talked about some of the features of the Auxito A301, let's go ahead and do some testing. We're going to use my wife's Trailblazer first and see how it does. We'll do a little timing to see how long it takes to get from 1 PSI up to the rated PSI for the tires on the car. And then we'll move over to the truck, and once we recharge this after doing the tests, we'll do all 4 tires on my truck. We'll air them down, and then we'll time how long it takes to do all 4 tires and look at how much battery is left after doing the larger truck tires as well, because that may be something to take into consideration if you're thinking about getting this device. You can see that we have the inflator connected to my wife's tire on her Trailblazer. So we're going to turn it on and do a little test. Hold down 3 seconds on the power button to turn it on. You can see the screen. So it's reading the current PSI in the tire at 26. I aired it down. I figured that'd be about an amount where you wouldn't really want to drive on the tire if you saw that that's what your PSI was, and you would definitely probably want to put air in it before going too far to protect the tire and obviously protect your vehicle. The recommended PSI is 35 for these tires. So you see I've got that set there. It is set in car mode, and we're still in green on the battery. So we're going to turn it on and time it, see how long it takes to go from 26 to 35, and check the battery rating when it's done. You can see the compressor has now reached 35 PSI, which is what I set it to, and it automatically cut off. Battery has moved into the orange section, so it's definitely not in its higher range. But we put in quite a bit of air in this tire. It was running for a little while there. It's running for about 4 minutes, a little less than that. That's not too bad for 10 PSI. It's actually pretty quick. But now we're going to charge it, make sure this has 100% full charge for the truck test where we do all 4 tires. and see how much battery that draws and how long it takes for the Silverado.
Later.
Now that we've tested the portable inflator on the Trailblazer, it's time to use the Silverado to see if we can push it to its limits. I have aired down all 4 tires on the Silverado from what I keep them at. They're currently around 30 to 32, give or take. I didn't make it perfect. I just let some air out, checked it, and if it was close, it was good, and I moved on to the next one. I typically keep these ridge grapplers around 38 PSI because I feel like that's when they're at their best for street driving. It's when they're the most comfortable and the smoothest, and they seem to ride really well at that PSI. So aired them down, and now we're going to do all 4 tires and air them up. We're going to see if the battery in the smaller portable inflator can get through all 4 of them. If it can, how much battery is left over, and how long it takes to do all 4 tires on the Silverado. So let's get the inflator hooked up and get the test going. I will say that I do believe this is an extreme test for this product because this is not advertised for trucks or larger tires, but I figure might as well test it, see what happens, go big or go home. We've already reached the first issue. It's currently at 34.5 psi and it shut off because it got too hot and the internal sensors decided it needed to shut off to cool off. This is just the first tire on the Silverado. So that brings me to 2 issues with this particular portable inflator. The first one is the screen. If you're indoors or the sun's not really bright outside, it's decent, and indoors is perfectly fine. But once you get outside in the sunlight, it becomes difficult to read. And that's something that I feel like they could have worked on a little bit, maybe made the screen a little bit brighter or something. I feel like using this outdoors is probably pretty common. And I think that's something they should have looked into, making sure the screen was bright enough to read even in sunlight. The second issue, now I've got 4 tires on my truck that aren't quite up to the PSI that I want them to be at, and the inflator has overheated and can't run it for a while. As I mentioned, I do view this to be an extreme test. It's in direct sunlight, and this is not really rated for trucks and larger tires. At least that's not the way it's advertised. So it's really probably not the best use case for this device. I just wanted to put it out there and just see how far it could go and what it could do. And it kind of cut off a lot quicker than I expected it to, although it is very hot outside today in the sun. But I will say, if you're using this for a smaller vehicle, maybe like a crossover or a sedan or a coupe, and your tires aren't as big as a truck's tires, then this may just be a perfect thing for you to keep in your vehicle in case you need it, especially if you don't have to use it on such a hot day. I do believe that if I brought the truck into the garage, I mean, it doesn't really fit in here very well, but if I got in as far as I could and did it in the garage, maybe it wouldn't have overheated. But then again, running it on all 4 tires, it still may have. Overall, I still think it's a good product, and we will be keeping it in my wife's Trailblazer. I don't think it's something that I'll be keeping in the truck for any reason. I may look at something a little more heavy duty for the truck tires. But if you got a smaller vehicle and you need some air in a pinch, I do think this is a good product. It's well built, well constructed, and it does work. You saw it work on the Trailblazer just fine. It didn't have any issues. And of course, when I did that, like I said, it wasn't in direct sunlight, so that may have had a factor in it overheating with the Silverado. If you have a vehicle like the Trailblazer or a smaller vehicle, then I would recommend checking this out. You can use the Auxito link in the video description down below and use code SouthpawLEDX12 to get 15% off your order. If I get a chance to retest this on the Silverado on a cooler day, I may do an update on the channel. But for now, thanks for watching. This is Southpaw Garage signing out.